subsets of 20 samples each. Such a cross-validation will be called as five-fold cross-validation. In this case, in the first iteration, we will reserve the first block for the testing of the model, and the rest of the 4 blocks will be used for training the model. Once we do that, we will evaluate the score of the model. And let us say we call it M1, score of model 1. In the second iteration, what we do is we train the model on the first, the third, fourth, and fifth blocks of data. And this block of data, the second block of data, is then reserved for testing the model thereafter. This model is again evaluated and a score is calculated. In the third iteration, we repeat the process and we train it on the first, the second, the fourth, and the fifth blocks, and the third block is reserved for testing the model. Again, the score is evaluated. The same thing happens with the fourth iteration and the fifth iteration. Now, we have in all 5 scores with us. We have 5 scores with us. Why? Because it is a 5-fold cross-validation, and we have divided our data samples into 5 blocks. And in every iteration, one of the blocks has been reserved for testing, while the model has been built and trained on the rest of the blocks. Now, what do we do to these scores? And how do we interpret these scores individually? Because at the end, we need only one score. Consolidated score of our classifier or of our model. We find the average of these scores. We find the average of these scores, and that average then denotes the score of our classifier or the performance of our classifier. It is denoted by the average score. Now, how many types of cross validations do we have? We have simple k-fold classification, as we just cross validation, as we just saw. We have leave one out cross validation, and we may have stratified cross validation. Now, let me first talk about stratified cross validation. In stratified cross validation, when we split our data into different blocks or folds, we want to make sure that each fold is a good representative of the whole data. The most basic idea is that we want the same proportion of different classes in each fold. Let us try to understand it using the previous example of the question bank. When the training questions, for example, are from algebra, say out of the 50 questions that you have, you try to train the student on 30 questions, and 20 questions we have reserved to finally test the child. Now, while training all the questions, if they were from algebra, and then finally the questions on which the child is to be tested, if they happen to be from differential calculus, then the child obviously is not going to perform well, because the model has not been trained nicely, because the child has not been prepared to deal with questions on differential calculus. If we use stratified cross-validation to ensure that in each of the fold we have questions or we have data samples from all the different classes, this problem is taken care of. Most of the times it may happen randomly, but sometimes in complex data sets, we may have to do it manually also. In leave one out cross-validation, it is the most extreme form of cross-validation for each of the instances in our data set. Mind you, this time I'm not talking of the blocks of data. From the 100 data samples that we have, in each iteration, one data sample is reserved for testing, and the rest are used for training. in which case we may increase the number of iterations immensely. This form of cross-validation is computationally quite extensive and may only be used in case of extreme usage or criticality. Now let us try to implement cross-validation in Python. You can all do it in Jupyter Notebook, and which is a simple model that we are going to build. First of all, there are these three classifiers: the logistic regression, the support vector machine, and the random forest classifier, which I have imported. I'll import all these three, and then I will download and finally call this data set, which is available in Scikit. That is a digital data set. It is a data set of handwritten digits from 0 to 9. And basically what we are trying to do is, in this data set, the digits that are there from 0 to 9, these are handwritten characters, and we have to classify them in 9 different classes from 0 to, in 10 different classes from 0 to 9. Now in this exercise, we are trying basically to use 3 different classifiers to classify the digits or the handwritten characters in this data set. And at the end, we will try to evaluate the performance of these 3 classifiers on the digit data set. Now, first of all, we will classify, we will train the data, we will split our data set using train test split, and we will use a test size of 0.3, which is 30% for testing and rest for training. Now this data set, the digits data set, first of all, I will classify using the logistic regression model. First of all, we will create an object of the logistic regression model, and then we will fit the model using X-train and Y-train, and finally we're going to calculate the score or performance of the regression model. As we calculate the score, we can see that this model is performing pretty well with a performance rate of 95%, a little more than 95%. Now, this score should be satisfactory in most of the cases. Let us now try classifying the same data set using another classifier, say SVM, in which case we will again fit the model and we will try to assess the score, and let us see how SVM performs. Here SVM is not performing very well on the data set that we have taken, as it is returning a score of only 40%. So compared to logistic regression, the support vector machine has classified this data rather inefficiently. So let us now try to do the same thing using random forest classifier. Random forest classifier is another very powerful classifier which is available and is inbuilt. It is giving us a score of rather high value, that is 97.2%. This was a quick way of measuring the performance of these 3 models using cross-validation. As we can see, on any of the data sets that we take, whether it is the iris data set or the digits data set or any other data set, be it from some academic problem or a real life problem, we can classify that data using the classifiers as I have shown, the random forest classifier or the support vector machine or logistic regression or any other classifier, KNN for example. And there is a quick way in cross-validation how we can evaluate the performance of these classifiers using the cross-validation technique. That's all on cross-validation. For questions or for further topics on machine learning, you stay tuned in and we will talk of them in the next class.